Thanks for checking out this film review from the Dead Man's Party podcast. You could find our full archive of every unedited show if you subscribe to The Skeleton Crew on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to support Dead Man's Party on Patreon. Link in the description. Enjoy the review. Wildcats, we're reviewing Speed 1994. This is Dead Man's Party. Don't fuck with Daddy. My name is Al, and I'm ready to get my gold watch. And I'm with the guy who would rather have a carriage full of cans than a baby, Chris. What's up, Chris?
Alex, you might be a better podcaster than me, but one thing, I'm taller.
Yes, you are. By a whole head. And I'm with the guy who drives a really big Pinto, the Ghoul. What's up, Pat?
You both took the lines I was going to say in the intro.
Well, good. We can get to the review faster.
Oh, dang, I guess.
Oh, darn. No, oh, darn.
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah, oh, darn.
I don't even know how I got your reference. I don't know how that came to me. This is starring Keanu Reeves, Dennis Hopper, Sandra Bullock, Joe Morton from Terminator 2, Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber, Alan Ruck. I think he was like the friend in
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller, is he?
What do you mean you think? Have you only seen that like one time?
Yeah, like 20 years ago. It was good.
Yeah, of course, 20 years ago, just when you watched every other fucking movie released 20 years ago.
And Glenn Plummer, he seemed familiar.
You had a hell of a year in 2000.
Glenn Plummer's in South Central, Trespass. He's in all sorts of shit. You'd recognize. He's like that guy. Yeah.
Oh, Saw 2. That's how I know him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
He's also in Showgirls.
I'm sure you know that. Speed. I saw this movie in the theater. So we review action movies, and tons of them from these kinds of periods. And this movie, let's just say, it feels much different than anything else we kind of review, right? Like, when we review all these action movies, this does not really fit in with them. It feels so fresh and modern, and it almost feels like a higher adrenaline, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Like, I excuse me, I haven't watched this in a long time, and that opening scene, which the elevator thing you consider is just the first act of the movie, really. And I have a thing with elevators as it is. I just, no thanks. Like, I'm all set. That shit gave me so much fucking anxiety watching this thing. I was like, wow. And for it being 1994, I was like, but you're right about the whole, it's nothing is like that is happening at this time. It's crazy.
Nothing. Like, we're going to review Hard to Kill and Marked for Death and all this stuff. And I love those movies. They're amazing. And even like Kickboxer, Bloodsport, all that stuff. And those don't kind of feel like this does.
No, this is a different kind of action movie. This is just filled with tension. It's just constantly keeping you on the seat of your pants, unlike, the movies that you just rattled off. This movie is just full of like, holy shit, like type moments.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost geared to an audience with no attention span, but I'm not going to say that. I think they did a good job. It's not like pandering or nothing. It's just excellent work, right?
No, I was to say, I mean, that is a good point, because that's how you, I mean, I don't know how much money this movie made, but I'm sure it fucking killed at the box office for that reason alone.
Yeah, and everybody, this ain't going to come out probably when this is happening, but check out Amazon. Don't go to the link Pat sends you. Go to the one I'm telling you about. It's $12 for the 4K, and it is not in 480. It's 4K.
Just you wait.
Oh, don't worry. We're not going to talk about this on the live show. Or we didn't already, because this will be in the past. Dennis Hopper in this elevator.
Oh.
What did they say? What does it say on this script? Just act like, huh? Hey, what's that? What's that noise? Wait, what's going on here? Wait, is there? Are they opening a door? Are they walking? Are they talking? What's happening? Like, dude, okay, we get it. You're confused. You don't know what the fuck's going on. couldn't you have set a camera in that elevator the same way you set one for the bus? I mean, they do have them. Like, why don't you know what's going on? Why are you confused? And why do you have to guess? It just went on and on, didn't it, with him with a confused thing?
Well, it's like his fucking character is so off the rails and just like so bizarre. Like he like delivers lines in this movie that like are meant to be similar to like the "Don't fuck with Daddy" line, but it's just like when he kills the guy who finds him fucking with the elevator, and he's like, nothing personal. It's supposed to be like a quip, but it's just like no. Like,
it does not come off like a quip.
No, he took this character and he fucking ran with it, man. Like he is chewing up the scenery in every single scene he is in, man.
He definitely still had some leftover cocaine from Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, and that's what he was doing. Like,
he really gave the character a lived-in feel, though. I totally bought him.
Oh, 100%.
As crazy as he is.
Well, when you find out his past, too, it makes all the more sense. Because I didn't even realize, I was like, when I saw his hand, I was like, what the fuck's wrong with his hand? So, like I said, I haven't watched this in a while. And then I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, that slug-looking hand he had when he was looking up. Ugh.
You start to gather more what his deal is. And then when they revealed that he's a former cop, yeah, he's just a fucking lunatic.
Oh, the whim of a madman. I like that.
How about when Harry from Dumb and Dumber falls through the elevator, and I never saw a guy get picked up by his nose before.
Oh,
thank God you said that. I had that in my notes. Like, that's something you would expect to see in like a Three Stooges episode, not in the middle of it. No, I'm serious. Not exactly. Not in the middle of a fucking action movie like this. It's insane.
That's like a wrestling. I feel like that's like an old school wrestling style move too. Yeah.
Did you guys notice the bus driver who got his ass blown to bits was from Ace Ventura, the one who stomped on the roach and said homicide?
Oh, you're right. He's in other stuff too.
Yeah, I think I recognize him from Seinfeld or some shit.
And here's what's weird. Oh no, Ace Ventura. Yeah.
No, you're right.
No, but I'm trying to get a timeline. I know Dumb and Dumber was 94, so Harry did both those movies.
Yeah, and he was named Harry in both of them.
Right.
Holy shit.
How fucking ironic is that?
I never realized that.
Yeah, dude.
Harry, you're alive!
Two of the biggest movies of 94, and he's in both of them and named Harry in both of them.
Holy shit.
And you're a horrible shot. So,
I love when he fucking shoots him, too, in the fucking leg. He's like, yeah, shoot him in a whatever. He shoots him in one of the most lethal areas you could shoot someone.
Yeah, what if that artery was there?
Yeah.
He shoots him, and Jeff Daniels is like, you fuck! And then Keanu, like, gives him this look like, well, you told me to.
Yeah.
And then look, it's like he wouldn't even take the time to fucking pause and look at him like that.
No.
Also, Dennis Hopper running out of the doorway after he shoots Jeff Daniels, that little like laugh that he does, and then the explosion.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Can we talk about the explosion? What exploded? Why did they think he was dead? Don't you have to pick up pieces of a body or something? Or even like he said, they won't even look for it. They'll just mop them up or whatever he said, clean them up with a sponge. Either way, isn't there a human being? Did he have another guy there just in case this all went sour and someone else blew up? Why did they think he was dead?
I think it's just like the name of the movie, Speed. They're not putting filler in. They're just going for it. So yeah, we don't need to explain that.
Yeah, weird. It was funny when Keanu Reeves like tells the people, "I'll see you tomorrow," and they explodes like 5 seconds later. So Dennis Hopper, basically his character, I don't remember these names except for Jack and Payne, something Payne, I think. He's pissed off that Howard Payne is Dennis Hopper. He's pissed off that they screwed with his elevator gag he had going. And, listen, that was a real intense scene when they have to jump through the door and, like, the lady, the elevator keeps coming down a little bit. Like, I would be the guy who gets cut in half if I went to do that. I just know it.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Normally I want to scream at the woman who wouldn't go and grab his hand and get out, but I get it.
Right, yeah. Well, it's the thing, too. It's like all the time that she waited being scared was the safest time that she could have got out kind of thing.
It's always like that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves' gum chewing game was strong in this scene. I don't know if you all noticed that. he was chewing the fuck out of that gum, dude.
While he's saving lives.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's pissed off that they messed up his elevator gag, and he wanted, I guess, $3.7 million for that. So now he wants $3.7 million for the bus gag he's doing. So if the bus goes over 50 miles an hour, the bomb gets armed, and when it goes under, it will explode. So a bus having to go 50 miles an hour, it's almost like you kind of forget that it's kind of crazy to be a realistic thing once you see everything else that happens. So, what do you think of Sandra Bullock in this movie? So she's really not known. Do you think she was charming, great character? Do you think she was energetic? Did she sell this whole premise?
I would say yes, and yes. I completely, or at least 30 years ago when I was, 18 years old, totally fell hook, line, and sinker for that character, dude.
Yeah, no,
I hadn't seen her in anything else at this point.
Let's say it's funny. She does this after Demolition Man, which she's also actually.
That's right. Good point. I did see that first.
But no, because obviously this movie came out the year I was born. But I was watching last night, and I know she's like obviously one of like the most renowned actors now. But no, she's like a lot of fun in this movie. Like she's not put there to be the damsel in distress. Like she fucking holds her own. Like she's kind of a fucking badass in this movie at certain points.
Yeah, like she has some dialogue that nobody in reality would say in that situation, but she still sells it somehow. She pulls it off to where it's semi-believable.
Right, and like she like knows the bus driver, like the lived-in feeling of all these passengers. Like she sells it. I think she's like the glue of that whole thing too.
Speaking of the bus driver, that guy's got the human equivalent hairdo of Darth Vader's helmet.
Oh, like I cannot believe that he looked in the mirror before he left the house and went, "That's good."
He seems so familiar. I feel like I've seen him in something. He looks like he should have been in
Wars.
He should have been in Death Warrant or some shit.
He looked like a black Andre the Giant that wasn't as tall. Like, it's weird. But you're right, she is a badass, Sandra Bullock, and you knew that when the bus driver tells her to put that butt out before she gets on the bus. She would have. So she smokes, so she's a badass right there. Tough bitch, I guess. And she was going to enter a bus with a cigarette in her mouth.
Rebel.
Just like the honey in Camp Out Nightmare 6. Constant butter in her mouth.
Wow. Yeah, she had to also throw the ashtray on the street before she got in the bus. So Keanu Reeves trying to get on the bus was an intense. The whole thing, I'll tell you, this movie just doesn't let up. Like literally. But
yeah.
Even here, like stealing the dude's car, and then that great moment when he wrote "bomb on bus" and the paper lands on the fucking windshield, and they're just staring at it like, oh my god. Now again, you have to suspend a ton of disbelief though, because you know that if he pulled in front of that bus with that dude's car, and even before that, but with the note, you know they would have just. Your natural instinct is like, look at that, and then slow down.
Hit the brakes.
And then get off the bus, right? Because they don't know that they have to stay the speed. They don't know anything. Once you see that, you just stop the bus and get off before it gets detonated. You don't know that anything, right? Why would you know to keep going?
Right, yeah.
Any normal person would stop immediately and say, everybody get off the bus, there's a bomb.
If he was even, because I mean, obviously, buses work differently than most regular cars. I mean, the brakes might have not even worked in time. He would have just fucking creamed Keanu and the other guy.
Right. Like, it is, you really have to just stop thinking. It's definitely a popcorn, turn your brain off movie.
Yeah, just like when Jack turns to the black guy and says, "Are you insured?" And he says, "Yeah," and he slams on the brakes, and that fucking bus just rips that door off.
Dude, did you guys notice? For some reason, I looked this time. When he does that, cars that were behind him in that lane were, like, gonna hit him.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because think about it. He's in the lane next to the bus. So when he hits the brake, there's still people just driving like normal behind him.
Well, yeah. So if there was someone even semi-close to him from behind, they would have smashed into him because he slammed on the brakes, dude.
He would have got fucking killed. Like, how would they know to not keep going?
Right.
There's a lot of, like, and I hate that I'm doing this. I hope I don't ruin this for everybody. Maybe I'll edit all this out or something, but, like, I feel guilty. But I really love this movie. I hate that we're, like, analyzing it.
That's what we do.
I just want to say that's what we do here.
So the dude hits the water jugs when he abandons his car and jumps on the boat.
Which is dumb, but it was a nice visual effect just to throw in there.
Yeah, he died, though. There's no way he survived that.
I was just saying the impact. I'm like, there's no way he's dead. But then he lifts up. He's like, oh, what the heck?
Yeah. So, how about this Mexican guy that pulls a gun out because he thinks Keanu Reeves is going to arrest him on this bus, and he shoots the driver.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then later on he goes, hey man, I didn't mean to shoot that guy. He's like, it's okay. I'm not going to say anything about it.
I guess that was the best plot device they could come up with, to have the driver of the bus get disabled, so Sandra Bullock had to take over and be the driver. I mean, what else would you do? I mean, other than have him like have a fucking heart attack or something.
Right.
Right. So like we were saying, all these great scenes, like she's driving the bus and has to get off the exit and stuff, and she hits like 75 cars.
And yet still stays above 50 miles an hour.
A bus that could only go, like, they were only going about 55 to stay above 50, so you would have to go like 70 miles an hour in order to maintain a 50 mile an hour speed after hitting all that shit. Gee, maybe we shouldn't review this.
It's just crazy when you think about like the speed of a car versus the speed of a bus. Like, that thing is like a fucking monster going that fast. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. Right. It would take a lot to stop it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong.
No, we're not. They hit enough shit to where they would have slowed down below 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, they would have hit at least 47 miles an hour at some point.
I don't understand why they didn't speed up to 88, and then they would have got shot back to 1955, and there would have been no bomb on the bus.
What? The Libyans would have put it on. It would have been a plutonium bomb. The Libyans! Yeah, I was always waiting to see those guys when I grew up. I've never seen them in real life.
The Libyans?
Yeah.
Where would you see them?
I don't know. I thought I would.
At the mall.
Yeah, Twin Pines Mall. Yeah, so this movie's loaded with everything. They thought of everything you could do. Drive into opposite traffic, get off an exit, and all the cars are just backed up, hit them all. Hitting a baby carriage. Like, when that carriage goes flying out of the view of the windshield, it is jaw-dropping.
The first time I watched this, I was so disappointed when those cans flew out. I thought it was going to be a real baby.
If that shit's just so, even for 1994, for that fake out, it's still just a fucking outrageous choice. I love it. Oh my god. Because I even forgot that it was a thing. So what happened, I was like, oh no. And then I was like, oh, okay, but still at the time.
If you focus, it's like two trash whores talking to each other before she strolls off. And, like, she's like 55 years old or something, so you know that there's no way an infant's in there unless she's, like, babysitting or something. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a giveaway there, but...
The way they filmed that, though, is absolutely amazing. Like, holy shit. Like, the fucking slow-mo, and
the editing's fucking awesome in this.
Yeah, you're like, okay, that baby's fucking dead. If that movie's made now, that is a baby, and that adds to the fucking stakes of the whole thing.
That's a much darker movie.
100%.
Well, I could have ended the whole movie in 5 seconds. Like, when Keanu's banging on the side of the bus, and he's like... There's a bomb on this bus, and they're not listening to him. They go, come on, go drive away from this guy. He could have literally fell to the ground and shot out the front tires and the back tires, and they never would have got to 50 miles an hour. Right?
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like, why would you let them have the capability of going to 50? They're going 5 miles an hour. Just shoot the tires out. Right?
God damn it.
Okay, we're done with Al.
Ruined.
Okay, guys, it's Dead Man's Party. It's just Chris and Pat, and we're not going to ruin movies for you anymore. What do you guys feel about this big moment of the highway is not complete, and it's like a bridge type of highway. It's not like regular flat street. And there's no difference between one side to the other at all. There's nothing at the end of the first half to send the bus upwards, yet it goes upwards. And if this was real life, this bus would have just went, dude. It just went.
Thank you. I've thought that for 30 fucking years.
Well, it's like also too the way they frame it, because I that's the one I will say about this movie is like the stunt work is really fucking cool. This stuff happened. It was like back in the time when these things were actually happening. It wasn't just all computer. But when they initially jump, the front half of the bus isn't shown because you can tell if they just had that shit on a crane or something and they were just pulling it over.
No, so I read about it online. So they had built a ramp for that bus to go off, and it said the bus hit a top speed of 61 miles an hour. The front wheels, when it took off the ramp, got 20 feet off the ground.
Shit.
At its height. And then they erased that missing section of the highway digitally, which I was kind of surprised because I was like, shit, that was 30 fucking years ago.
Holy.
But then I thought, well, Jurassic Park came out the year before this, and they did some crazy digital shit in that, so it makes sense,
True.
I guess. Just a piece of highway.
It's kind of simplistic, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The bus effects are hilarious too, because when he's like, they have to do the hard right turn too. Like he makes just everyone get on the side. Like how is that? How is like the maybe like I don't know 300 human pounds of weight gonna really make a difference on a fucking I don't know X amount of ton bus?
The bridge gag could have been so much better. They could have just had it higher than the other part. Even that would have been unrealistic, but at least it would have given it some validity. Why would we believe it would go perfectly straight across? What logic at all? And listen, I don't want to bash this movie. I actually love it, but we do have to talk about this. But like, why not do that? Why not just make this easier for yourself? It still would have been cool if they just went off of the cliff and landed on the street, just like Arnold did on the motorcycle in T2. Like,
or Cobra.
Or Cobra. It's still cool.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Off the parking garage, yeah.
Right, so we wouldn't mind. I don't know what you were thinking by having it level going straight across, but okay.
I was going to say, I love the character of Mac, the black guy, like the main guy who's in charge of all the, his other crew that's pulling up, trying to solve all the problems.
Oh, the Terminator 2 guy.
Yeah, Joe Morton.
Miles Dyson.
He is great in this movie. He's always pissed off and he's always yelling every time he's on screen. He's like, but it's on the map. It's on the goddamn map. And then at the end, when he's that camera guy in the fucking van, he's like, come on, tape it.
Oh, yeah, and he keeps yelling at the guy.
He tapes it a little bit. Then he's like, okay, run it.
Yeah, he wouldn't stop, and the guy's like, I am.
I know, the guy finally got pissed off.
No, first he gets pissed off, and he goes, record it. And he goes, I am. And then after that, he goes, okay, run it. He just keeps yelling at him.
That's the best. He screams at him, run it.
Here's the thing. As if the bridge, the jump wasn't dumb enough, did you guys notice that even right before it, there's a curve that leads to it?
Yes.
Why would you do that? Let's build some real speed here. So not only are you going to tell us that they jumped this thing, but now you did it off of a curve?
I guess that didn't hit me after seeing them drive through the heart of downtown Los Angeles, blasting car after car, going around curves and still staying above 50 miles an hour.
And then the tires run over the backwards thing in the airport.
Yeah, and they're up on two tires at one point, rounding a fucking curve. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it is dumb fun, I'll tell you.
I was gonna say, well, I love this because like this era of movies, and I had this in my notes for the last couple of shows, but I didn't say anything. Like for 3 O'Clock High, Kindergarten Cop, and stuff. Like, I really miss the era of when movies were actually shot on a location, like that was actually
a real place. Yeah,
a real place. Yeah, so like you feel all that, which adds like this. The 90s LA is also just like a fucking amazing setting for anything.
Do you not feel it? I'm curious because like we all know that. Most of you see all these things, it's all green screen, but do you really notice that it's not real? Like,
it's
when it comes to cities and shit like that, I don't notice anything.
I thought Jason went to Manhattan. Eventually. So Keanu goes under the bus to fix it in that creeper or whatever you call it, the crawl or whatever it is. That is the dumbest thing you could possibly do, number one. Two, he stabs the gas tank with a screwdriver to hold on to the bus. Doesn't a spark make it explode or something?
Yes, it does. I'm glad you brought this scene up.
Yeah, wouldn't a screwdriver stabbing a tank, wouldn't you be petrified that it'll spark and kill you?
I hadn't even thought about that, but now that you say that, it makes total sense. I just know that he's hanging on by a screwdriver. That's it.
That's it.
Do you know how much fucking upper body strength it would take to hang on to that as his legs are bouncing off the speeding freeway?
At 50 miles an hour? Yeah.
Yeah. I love this part though, because like the awesome part. Another awesome part of this movie is the trope of like they just have to show you that everything that can go wrong with the bus is gonna go wrong. Like the tires start blowing out, he has to stab the fucking gas tank just to survive. Like, I don't know. It's cheese, but I'm eating it up.
Oh, they went the whole. Like I told you, they did every scenario. What could we do with a bus that can't stop?
And he gets back on the bus, and he sees how fast the fuel gauge is dropping, which in the span of the 3 seconds that we see it on screen, it goes from less than a half a tank down to like a quarter tank. So you got to think in the next 30 seconds to a minute, it would be on empty. Yet when Mac's like, he tells Mac they're leaking gas, and Mac's like, how much time you got left? He's like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. I'm like, no. You don't have 10 minutes, dude. That gauge was dropping drastically.
Well, he's no expert at gauging when a gas gauge is going down. We have to give him that. But Harry finds Dennis Hopper's house. This scene was always very dark to me in this fun thrill ride. Like, he goes in, and this guy, like, sets the house up to explode, and Harry's in the house. When he looked at that thing and it switched on and the bomb was going to go off and kill all of them, and he just stares at it, that horrible look on your face when you know you won't exist in 5 seconds, I still would have turned and ran and dove for the window, just hoping I just get shot out of it or something with the,
Say that fucking house explodes just like that hospital room at the end of Halloween 2.
Yes! I was hoping for it.
God. Yeah. Did he go, it's time, Harry?
Oh, shit! That would have been so good.
He would have said that, too, that guy.
It's funny. It's funny, because I see that picture come up on a meme thread on Twitter at least once a week of, like, post images of a movie character when they know they're fucked, and that's always the first one. And I understand what it's for, because it's like to be like, yeah, like you gotta have, because like they only have one passenger die, so they gotta have some stakes here, show you that Dennis Hopper's a true fucking evil asshole. He had to be the one, but it's like Jeff Daniels, man, it's so unfucking necessary, but it's only because we love him from, most of us probably saw Dumb and Dumber before this, yeah. So you're just like, oh, it's heartbreaking, but it adds to that. That's why
they kind of had to do it, because if they didn't, what else were they going to do with that character? Because by the second half of that movie, Mac had become Keanu's point of contact person as far as like all the scenarios they were going through.
Yeah.
So they would have just been stringing Jeff Daniels' character along, kind of doing nothing until the end of the movie.
His role, without that death scene, his role basically would have just been a cameo, because he disappeared. He disappears for like a solid like half hour of the movie.
Nope.
Okay, genius, let me have it.
His original character was the mastermind behind all of this.
What?
Well, that's a totally different movie.
I know. And I don't think it would have played as well. I'm glad they got rid of it. Just like Cobra. Remember when that guy was supposed to be the mastermind?
That's fascinating to me, because it makes it a different movie, but it makes it a darker.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. I actually know. I kind of fuck with that. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, they decided no. Instead, they just blew him up. But he was supposed to be, in the end of it all, like when he was, when he was looking for things in the police station and all that stuff, he was supposed to divert them and lead them in the wrong directions and stuff like that. And then,
okay. Wait, so was he working with Dennis Hopper, or?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe they were like buddies. Maybe they used to be partners or something, right?
I was gonna say, what would they were? Oh fuck, dude, you're gonna send me down a rabbit hole later on tonight, figuring this shit out. That's fucking awesome. Holy shit,
it's cool. So yeah, he wasn't so dumb after all. No, nobody. So So why does this guy keep on drinking so many Cokes? Like, is he a diabetic or something? Why Cokes? Like, why couldn't he drink beers the whole time he was doing this? What's with the sodas? The soda pop.
Well, he seems like a wiry fuck as it is. So it seems like if he was honestly what they should have done, just keep having him do cocaine, if anything.
Yeah, can you imagine if he just kept snorting lines, then getting back up off the table?
Yeah, just fucking doing lines just to explain his like a very eccentric behavior. But yeah, no, I noticed that too. The coke thing is like, I mean, maybe that's the metaphor. He's supposed to be doing coke, but he's drinking it instead. I don't fucking know.
I like how when he refers to Sandra Bullock as Wildcat for the second time, that's when Keanu realizes, wait a minute, he sees that jacket. And then in the span of 20 seconds, he realizes why he called her Wildcat. He sees the camera mounted behind the mirror at the front of the bus. He comes up with a plan for the TV cameraman to intercept the UHF signal, to record a piece of tape and run it on a loop.
And send it back through the camera.
Yeah, through the camera to Dennis Hopper. All in the span of 30 seconds, he came up with this.
How would he know that you could even intercept that signal?
Exactly.
How does the TV station know how to get to it? Okay, they can record the tape, I get that, but how do they play a tape and then send it back through a camera?
Because he was able to play that tape back to that same signal somehow. Run it! Run it!
But then that dumb bitch picks her purse up, screws everything up.
I was going to say, I do actually really like, when you just turn your brain off and go for it, I actually do really like this kind of gimmick for it. Because I just love how pissed Dennis Hopper gets when he realizes he's been fucking duped. So maybe that's why.
No! No! Just like a fucking bad guy at the end of Scooby-Doo.
I would have gotten away with it too.
Yeah, the payoff makes it worth it. For me, at least. That's why. Yeah, he's turn your brain off and whatever.
It's a turn the brain off. Like, the only payoff is that he gets to kidnap Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
That's really the only payoff of that. When they're getting everybody off the bus because he's watching a loop tape, they give you a little scare with Ferris Bueller dude, like, sort of falls, hesitates, and almost dies. But you never thought he was going to die, right? There was no real tension there.
No, but that one lady earlier got run over.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. She was annoying.
The dude from Ferris Bueller is also kind of like a callback to the beginning with the elevator, like, because he's, like, hesitant to get off.
Right.
So
right.
It's like, it's happening full circle.
Yeah. When Keanu and Sandra Bullock get off this bus, they have to keep a pipe on the pedal, and then they tie the steering wheel in whatever direction, and then they fall off the panel, and it glides perfectly at 50 miles an hour.
Yes.
Like through all those cones and everything, and
it just comes to a stop in the dirt.
So romantically perfect. And I'm like, that would fucking flip under the bus, and you guys would have been mutilated. That would have never happened.
Yeah, they were just riding down that road like a fucking skateboard, dude. Nope.
At the very minimum, they would have both had severe amounts of road rash.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which would turn into months of like, medical care.
Yeah, they'd be in a bed for months, longer than Harry was.
Which we don't know about yet.
Yeah, so I asked Ghoul to focus. We watched it earlier. I wanted to know the timeline between the elevator gag and the bus, and we don't get much of information there, unfortunately.
No, they don't say.
Well, that's the thing, because Keanu says to Sandra Bullock one point, he's like, oh, just some crazy lunatic from a while back. Jeff Daniels is in SWAT again. He's not using a cane, so his leg is healed. They don't say it, but that's like one of those how these movies are. So
well, first he gets an award and he's on a cane, and then the next time when he's walking to the house with the guns, he's fine. So there was a time. There are 3 timelines here, right? The elevator, months or weeks later, and then whatever later for the bus.
Had to have been months, because I mean, this is just being realistic. You get shot in a spot that Jeff Daniels got shot in, you're not coming back for a while.
Right.
So also, just quick tidbit that I had in my notes. Did you recognize the lieutenant who was giving out the awards? Halloween 4, Sheriff Meeker.
Oh, yeah, Bo Star.
Yeah, Bo Star.
Yeah.
I just have to get my own Halloween reference in next to Chris.
Yeah, keep up with him. Okay, so yeah, with the whole timeline thing, like, what's really weird, so he says that he spent how many years planning the elevator thing?
2.
So one would think to devise this bus ordeal and to have it trip off, to set it up, to get under there, to do all this, that would take also years, right? Like,
well, he does it to 2 buses because he sends one as a warning.
Well, one, he just kind of blows up. That's kind of easy, I guess, to do that.
Yeah, so, but yeah, you're right. So I think they want you to assume it's probably been like over a year.
It has to be. Because to make it so that it turns on when how do you make it so a bomb goes off when a bus hits a speedometer? Like, that's engineering. That's a lot of setup. If it took you 2 years to figure out to put bombs around an elevator and on the wheels that it slides up and down and on the cables or whatever, why would that take 2 years? There's obviously something going on that we don't know about. So
yeah,
you would think a bus is a little more complex, right?
Absolutely, because that, but also just like, yeah, the 2 years thing makes a lot more sense. It's like all clicking right now. It makes a lot more sense because they make it a point too. This kind of adds to it, which I just realized now, is when Jeff Daniels is doing the investigation of like, he's like, every single one of this guy's past experience, like bomb experiences, has been a different like explosion mechanism, this, that, the other thing. So he's doing a different technique every time, which would make sense for it to be like he's got to learn this stuff, prep it, whatever. So it's soon to be years, I guess. Really,
it has to be.
Yeah.
I'm glad they don't pay him the $3.7 million. That way, when they blew up the jumbo jet and half the city's cars, the fucking bus, all the other millions of dollars of things that they destroyed today, that they also didn't give him 3.6. They could have just paid him that money and saved the city $20 million worth of damage overall, right? Like, how much did
more than that when you figure in that airplane.
Right.
Jesus Christ, dude. That was a good explosion, by the way. That looked.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was fucking awesome.
I love how they got around too, because my first instinct was, I was like, okay, so he saved 10 bus passengers, but then he rides it into it's a freight. They make sure to make it a freight.
It's a freight. Thank you. Yeah, I have that in my notes.
And it's not being piloted; it's being pulled by the truck.
They make a point to show him looking at it at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. No human casualties detected.
I don't think I had ever noticed that before, though, that it explicitly says freight on the side of that thing. But I guarantee you a shitload of people never even noticed that. They just saw a plane getting blown up.
Right, yeah. They're like, oh, well, he saved a bus, but he fucking destroyed one.
Right, yeah.
Traded up 10 lives for fucking 300.
Yeah, can you imagine wouldn't that be the best kicker of the movie, though?
To save 20 people to kill like 250.
And he's like, damn it!
Can we, the three of us, somehow get funding to make the darker version of this movie where that actually happens?
Mm-hmm. We'll call it cruise control.
Oh, we're gonna go full on the plane bit being filled with passengers. We're doing the fucking baby carriage bit. It's happening.
Oh, we're doing the baby carriage. Harry's gonna be the bad guy, and that will be a plane full of passengers.
Absolutely, yep.
Absolutely, everything. And we're going to make it all happen. And that lady will get cut in half when she goes to get out of that elevator, too.
Yep, absolutely. Yo, Alex, flash that Patreon, man. Get us that money.
Hey, guys, support our Patreon page. Link in the description. Yeah, I want her head and arms to be the only thing at Keanu Reeves' feet at the end of that scene.
Dude, that would be awesome.
We can make such a better movie. Let's get on it. I made a movie. You guys ever see it? Friday the 13th, 9 lives. It's on YouTube. 1 million views.
That's pretty impressive, dude. 1 million views.
God.
That's fucking awesome.
I wish I tried harder. I didn't know anyone was going to watch. Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah. Hopper didn't know anything blew up. He's still like saying, give me my damn money and all that stuff. And they're like, wow. So he does figure it out when he sees the Chinese woman with the purse in her hand and it keeps flickering. So he figures that out. He kidnaps the Wildcat, and we're right back where we started. Like when he has her, and it's exactly like Harry and him. It's like we are right back where we started, right? Didn't you feel kind of defeatist at that point?
No.
Well, You should have.
But what's funny though, for years when I would rewatch this movie, which was like every 2 or 3 years, I would always forget that there's this like final act after the bus thing. It's like, oh shit, there's this whole other thing in the subway.
Right. Yeah, it's
you almost think naturally the movie's over once the whole bus thing's over.
Yeah. That's the thing, because I always remember, I was like, okay, so I know it takes place on the bus, but I know that Dennis Hopper gets killed on top of a subway, but I don't remember how we get from that to that. So it really works for me. Actually, I actually really like it. I love how it's like you consider it like, if you want to do the 3 acts: elevator, bus, subway.
Yep.
So you don't feel it's tacked on just because the original movie was a train?
No, not at all. I actually think I think it transitions very well. And then the subway also being unfinished, so you're like, where the fuck is this?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, this is a little much.
Yeah. I love that actually that Joe Morton's character, Mac, actually mentions, I think, he's like, if we're going somewhere, if this one's unfinished, you're all fucking fired, or something like that. Like, he makes a reference. What are the odds that the other thing is also unfinished?
Yeah.
That's where I went, okay, I can't co-sign this anymore. Like, you brought us on the train, fine. The fact that they said the track is not finished, then where the fuck was he going? I guess you could say, well, they would have switched that thing and it would have went to a different place.
Right.
So, okay, fine, or whatever. But once that happened, it's such an eye roller, man, to hear the track's not finished. It's like, not only are we doing another thing where it can't stop again because he shot the controllers and the conductor, but now we're also doing the not finished gags to the same people that just lived through this 20 minutes ago.
No, I do like the subway scene. I mean, I was almost looking for the Predator again. Dennis Hopper should have looked at Sandra Bullock and said, "Want some candy?" So then they get up on the roof of the subway, and Dennis Hopper's basically kicking Keanu Reeves' ass.
Totally kicking his ass.
But before that, when Keanu's up on the roof, Dennis Hopper starts shooting in his gun all over the place, and Keanu's just like rolling back and forth and somehow manages to evade every single...
Oh, just like on the elevator. It's like we're watching the same movie over and over and over and over with this movie.
There's a really funny part to this too, where Dennis Hopper basically finishes, like, he runs out of ammo, and then he's like, fuck this, so he decides to go run. It's a cut of him running away from Sandra Bullock inside the train. The next shot is Keanu Reeves crawling, and then all of a sudden fucking Dennis Hopper just appears. I just loved how, like, even the editors were like, all right, fuck it, he's just up there now.
He's just there.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just end this movie, please.
Oh, it like works though, because it just shows like this guy, it just adds to like how fucking absurd his character is.
I'm smarter than you. Holds his head up. Shoop. Yeah, but I'm taller.
He sounded like Johnny Utah when he said that.
For sure. That's one of the worst lines and worst delivered lines I've ever heard.
The quip it could have been done way better.
And then he gets back down on the train with Sandra Bullock, and she goes, "Where's Payne?" And he goes, "He lost his head."
That was not as good as Arnold saying, "Where's Sally? I let him go." And Commando.
I like that one a lot. We'll get to Commando.
But it's funny, when we get to Commando, we're going to talk about how did she not see what he did to him? She's standing right next to him.
Also, I don't know about how you guys feel. Kind of an anticlimactic end for the villain. Like, I feel like in the movie, or I don't know, maybe movies prior to this is like kind of what makes this one more different, is you would have expected the bad guy to be, his demise would be met at the ends of his own, like, he would be blown up.
Right, yeah. Instead, his head gets knocked off.
Yeah, just knocked off. I don't know if anticlimactic was the right word. I should have chose. I don't know. It just seems...
Not what you thought, yeah.
It's watered down, I guess, maybe, considering how brutal the rest of the movie kind of is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love how Keanu Reeves thinks, we're going to jump the track, let's speed the train up. Why would he think he has to speed the train up? If you can't stop it, you could obviously make it go faster or slower. Why wouldn't you just bring it to a crawl?
Because trains, it takes so long to slow them down if they're going at a high rate of speed. They probably didn't have enough.
Why make it faster, though? What does that benefit anybody?
To jump the track.
What does that even mean? Jump what track? He doesn't know what it looks like up there.
This is why we need to remake this. We got to figure this out.
I'm done trying to make sense of this movie.
They didn't say, hey, it's disconnected for 10 feet, but you could get back on another track. Nobody said that. And that wouldn't work anyway.
There's, like, very minimal logic to this movie. You just have to suspend disbelief.
We need our remake. Where bad things happen.
Oh.
And Sandra Bullock will die at the end.
Now that, I don't know about that. I don't know if I have the heart to do that.
No, we'll just cast somebody you don't like.
J-Lo.
Oh, fuck, Chris, I was just about to say it.
Wow. I think I will edit that out. It's going to be played in reverse.
No, you won't.
I'm not letting people hear that crap. I'm done
You're
with you.
such a prick.
I'm done with you, man. That's the beauty of being an engine. That's the beauty of being the producer, dude. You cannot talk shit.
Shot caller.
How many baby carriages with recyclable cans are we hitting out of 5 for Speed 1994?
This movie is full of ridiculous moments, but I don't care. This came out when I was 18 years old. I've loved it since the first time I saw it. I've seen it over and over and over. I never get tired of it. I still watch it every 2 to 3 years. I will give it 4 baby carriages crushed out of 5.
Nice. The Ghoul into your bed. How many baby carriages are you rolling over full of cans out of 5 for Speed?
So, like I said, it's been a while since I last watched this one. This one fucking starts at 100 and it goes to 1,000. And I absolutely love it. It's relentless. It's brutal. Gives you some shock moments if you're not too familiar with it. I love Keanu Reeves. He's just awesome in this movie. Sandra Bullock's very likable. Dennis Hopper is a fantastic fucking villain. And this wasn't in my rotation for a while. It's becoming a part of my rotation. This is a fucking 4.5 out of 5 for me. I love this movie.
Nice.
Nice.
I really love this movie. This is a lot of fun. Especially considering the runtime. When I looked at it and it was almost 2 hours long, I was like, oh shit. And it did not feel like 2 hours. So I really love this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it speeds by.
Oh, God, please, with the puns.
See what I did there?
No, I didn't see that coming down the freeway.
Not a learning shot.
All right. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to lose my head.
I will also blast out 4.25 baby carriages out of 5, only because of the wackiness of the end. I'm not sure about it, but what's his name? Dennis Hopper lived and breathed that role. He was that guy. Keanu Reeves was perfect. His acting just keeps getting better.
Can't get worse.
Well, you ever see Dracula?
One time, I don't remember shit.
And Point Break, he was good. He was supposed to be like a dummy, kind of.
Maybe we'll do that one day.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to that. So I love the music. Dun 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 dun. In this movie, it was really intense. Everything was right. The character actors, all the fill-in cast, whatever you call those people, the supporting cast. Sandra Bullock was the right person. Everybody was the right person in this movie. The guy from Terminator 2, Miles Dyson, was the right guy. Just action, thrill-packed movie everybody should see. So that was Dead Man's Party. We will see you next week.